Hello everyone, I'm Yuti Doshi from Mann Mantra Mental Health. Welcome to another episode of Theory Thursdays. Today we are going to talk about a really interesting topic, that is locus of control. Just give me a second, I'll share the screen. So, what is locus of control? We'll try to understand it by answering this question: who is in control of your life? What determines whether you achieve your goals or not? There are many questions which we need to understand and try to find out what is the outlook of our life. So, because the outlook of our life is something that determines our attitude towards our life and people and situations. So, the person you can see on the screen is Julian. He's a psychologist and he had conducted a research to understand how people viewed life and the influences around it. After conducting the research, he concluded that people's successes, failures, and overall life experiences are largely affected by their belief or what controls their life. And this term became a psychological concept called locus of control. The locus is a Latin word and it basically means location. So locus of control is basically the location or the place where your life is controlled from. So this doesn't mean that we have a control room in ourselves, but it basically means that there are forces which act upon our life and make our life the way it does, the way it is. So this is locus of control, and there are two types of locus of control: internal and external. What is internal locus of control? A person having internal locus of control believes that he or she makes things happen. It is their own responsibility to make things happen. They believe that they are largely in control of their own life. So this applies especially in the successes or failures they experience. And if they succeed, it is because of their efforts and abilities. And if they fail, it's because they didn't do enough. That is what they believe. And so to understand this better, some statements that typically come from people who have internal locus of control would be statements like, I can do it. It is in my control. I will sacrifice some sleep and finish this tonight, but it has to be done. There must be a way out of this situation. Or I can achieve this if I learn the necessary skills. Just a few examples. Coming to external locus of control, people with external locus of control believe that things happen to them. Life is not in their control, and they normally consider their life experiences as being in the hands of fate or luck. So if they're successful, it's probably due to good luck. If they're failing at something, it must be their destiny, something like that. And the most common statements that come from people with external locus of control are, life is too difficult, or the competition is too much in this field, or it's impossible to succeed unless you have some contacts with the government or something like that. So that was internal and external locus of control. But which one is better to have? Is it good to have an internal locus of control? Not really. Each of them has their own advantages and disadvantages. So, of course, there are a few benefits when you have internal locus of control. First is a very high self-esteem. Person with internal locus of control has a very high self-confidence, they are more independent, they are more successful, they are less likely to fall for peer pressure, they are almost always optimistic during challenging times, and they are also generally healthier and happier because they take charge of their own actions. But there are certain disadvantages too. When you have excessive internal locus of control, it means you majorly rely on your own self. And this excessive self belief might lead you to arrogance. Another disadvantage is having strained relations. The arrogance that might develop might lead you to relations with your colleagues, friends, family, because in the pursuit of successing and completing your goals, you might simply walk over other relations. One major important point is about perfectionism. People having internal locus of control have this urge of being perfect in everything that they do, and it might always lead you to be a little more stressful. Coming to external locus of control, sometimes having external locus of control is really advantageous because it reduces the likelihood of you being too much stressed. So, for example, if there is an illness due to bad health or lack of promotions at work, or there are very big challenges in your life like marriage or raising children, these situations stress you so much because they are beyond your control. That's what you believe. So you are very quick at accepting situations and adjusting in such situations. Also, people with external locus of control make really good followers. In a team, there can't be two go-getters or two leaders. So it is really important to have followers. It is really important to have good team members. And if you have an external locus of control, you will be really good team member. You can work really well with groups. But there are certain disadvantages as well. One is you become an underachiever because when you're surrounded by people having internal locus of control, always motivated from inside to do certain things, you might end up achieving less than your potential. Second is high likelihood to suffer anxiety. Although attributing negative experiences to external events will reduce your stress levels, but it won't hold it for the in the long run. You will end up being anxious and end up not knowing what to do next. You might also end up feeling powerless or hopeless because the biggest problem with external locus of control is that people believe that they have no power to make any difference, which might not be true. So when we ask mental health experts or psychologists about what is better to have, the answer will be neither is good or bad. It just depends on the situation. However, research has always shown that people with an internal locus of control always fare better. External locus of control promotes negative attitude towards our own abilities. Hence, always having a balance of both is always helpful. So that was about what is locus of control and what are the types of locus of control. I hope this was comprehensible. And if you have any questions regarding locus of control, regarding the attributes that we give about our successes and failures to life, sometimes we give it to ourselves. So if you have any questions, if you want to discuss anything about this topic, you can always DM me or drop in your comments below. Thank you so much for watching.